here's something you may not know. The first building ever built in Las Vegas was a fort, and it was built 200 years ago. You can imagine the kind of tools they had to use. Here at the National Hardware Show, it's all about innovation. What we're going to see today in kind of a behind-the-scenes VIP look is some of the things that you may see on a store shelf. Whether it's new tools, whether it's something for the garden, maybe it's something for your own home. One of my favorite parts of this show is the Inventors Spotlight. It's an area where the future Thomas Edisons all come together to show us what they've created. Let's take a look. Where inspiration meets perspiration, as we heard from our friend Rich, the Inventor Spotlight is an incredible area in the National Hardware Show. We're so excited to see what these hardworking industry revolutionaries have come up with. I've been coming to this show for a long time, and honestly, personally, this is my favorite spot because these are the people that had this idea, right? That for the most of them have bankrolled their own ability to create this stuff, and they're just looking for an audience.
Absolutely. These are inventors and entrepreneurs, and they're looking for opportunity here. They're looking either to license their product, where they have a company that already has product in retail, and they're looking to add their product to their product line and earn royalties, or they're looking to manufacture, where they're going to do all the manufacturing, all the logistics, warehousing, receivables, and starting a business, or they're doing both.
What is it that advice perhaps that you could give to somebody watching that says, hey, I have an idea, maybe I should come to this show and illustrate what it is I've created?
Well, it's really about putting yourself in a position where you're thinking about it as a business. Take the emotional side out of it and think about what is it going to take and what steps you need to do to get there, and be realistic with the information that you're getting back and the feedback from people, because they're telling you those are your consumers instead of you or your family and friends. And then you come to a show like this, and yes, you look for potential licensees that have manufacturing capability and distribution, and anytime one of them sells, you earn a royalty.
It's funny that you said take the emotion out, because I bet that that is a really tough thing for an inventor, because this is your baby, and you think that A plus B plus C equals this, and this is what I'm going to sell. And then all of a sudden somebody comes to you and says, oh, Brian, you know, I like A and B, but I really don't care about C. And you could get offended, right? Saying they just don't get it. And I bet there's a lot of inventors who maybe weren't as flexible enough to listen, and it doesn't allow them to be as successful as they possibly could be.
And it's important to get information, and that's why, as part of the United Inventors Association, we're a 501c3 non-for-profit, and we're the largest one in the country. We're there to help educate inventors on licensing, marketing, manufacturing, all the different components, and we have 15 board members, amazing, that have all types of experience in the inventing, development, process world. So we're here to help inventors.
Oh my God, that is such great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lou.
Listen, I got to talk to you. I got this great idea.
Uh-oh, okay. Don't tell anyone.
All right, one of my favorite things to do is just kind of walking around here, and then you stumble upon this giant blue chair. And Julie here, who's one of the inventors, it's called the Wanderer.
The Wanderer, yeah.
What is it?
So it's a 5-in-1 product. It's a cart that transforms into 4 different chairs. So the cart hauls 250 pounds of gear, and then once you get where you're going, you unload it, and it turns into a low beach chair, a high camping field chair, a fully reclinable lounger, and a camping cot.
All right, but there's a whole great story about how this got invented and where it got its name.
Yeah.
Tell us that.
Yeah, so my mom and dad invented the concept, a 2-in-1 concept, about 20 years ago. And they got it patented, tried to take it to market, and just ran out of money and know-how. And so I was working for a large consulting firm and was going through a hard time in my life, and I needed something that I could make successful. So I called up my dad, who's one of my absolute heroes, and I said, Dad, what would you think about me taking your product to market? And he started crying, and he said, it's all yours, take it. And then my partner and I, Stacy, co-founded OME Gear, which stands for Ocean plus Mountains equals Earth, redesigned this into a 5-in-1, and now we're going to market.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
And it really is a terrific idea, specifically for anything you want to do. And I mean, whether you're going camping, you're going to the beach,
yeah.
You're just going on a picnic, it really serves all of these purposes.
It does.
And the real lesson here for you parents is they're never completely off the payroll. You're still taken from your parents. No, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Lou.
Really cool stuff.
Thanks.
We've met a lot of new people so far this week, and it's been fantastic. Now, we want to take some time to visit with some old friends at the show. So I met Gary probably 10 years ago at this hardware show. You were the newly minted CEO of the company, I think, back then, right?
2009.
Yeah, and we talk about the fact that all this innovation that occurs within this industry is amazing, but then here we are with this brand, Arrow, and what's in front of us is a product that literally has not changed since its inception.
1957.
Tell me about that stapler.
It's the Arrow T50 staple gun. We introduced in 1957. Hasn't changed since then because the thing is a workhorse. You can drop it off a building, pick it up, works just as well as it did before.
Yeah.
It's the best-selling heavy-duty staple gun in history.
Now, that's not to say that Arrow isn't about innovation. You certainly have expanded your line
Absolutely.
and your offerings and whatnot. And one of the things that when we came up here, I noticed is there are now other brands, major brands that people would recognize underneath your Arrow umbrella. Talk to me about that.
Two iconic brands, Pony Jorgensen, introduced in 1903.
Wow.
And Goldblatt introduced in 1885. So brands that have been around for each over 100 years. And incidentally, this is Arrow's 90th anniversary. So we have three companies, three different brands now that are basically, 100-year-old brands or more.
Right.
The one thing about Arrow, as well as Pony Jorgensen and Goldblatt now, is we do a tremendous amount of research. We talk to users each and every day. We want to know, what they're thinking. Why do you buy these tools? What do you use them for? So that we can take all that data and feed it back to the product guys and say, this is what people really need. These are the unmet needs right now.
Right.
What can you do to fill that? And I have to say, I thought people were passionate about staple guns, and some really are. But when you talk about clamps, woodworkers are some of the most passionate people I've ever met.
Yeah, and I want to applaud you because I know that in a lot of that research, they wanted a Wi-Fi enabled staple gun and you said no.
We did. We held our ground and said we just won't do it.
That's right. Good job. Nice seeing you again.
You too.
Well, I like coming to these booths when I know the people and the products that they make are ones that I really like. Nice to see you, Rick.
Yeah, thank you, Lou.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Appreciate it.
I'm very familiar with the Bonide company and all the different products that you guys make for a very long time. Give everybody a quick snapshot of kind of the breadth of products that Bonide makes.
Well, Bonide has been making solutions for homeowners or consumers for over 90 years. And we have solutions in herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, and animal repellents as well.
Yeah, I mean, super effective stuff. Whether you've got deer or ants or moles or voles, I mean, you name it, you guys can help. What I want to specifically talk to you about today, though, is weed killers. There's been a lot of talk and concern with a lot of people about some of the chemicals that are out there being used when it comes to controlling weeds. You at Bonide have some solutions and alternatives for people to consider.
We do. We offer a selective, which means it just selects the weeds and leaves the grass alone. It's all natural. It's Weed Beater FE. What it does is it gets to the weed, it'll kill the weed. In a matter of 24 hours, you'll see the weed turn black and go away. It does not affect the grass at all.
One of the things I think is important for people to understand is when you're making these choices of going away from like a chemical base, you do tend to have to use a little bit more of these products to get the desired results.
You do, and it's clear on the label of how to use it.
Right.
Most of them, naturally based products, you will have to reapply, and you won't get the necessarily desired results with one use. Right. So just, they need to be aware of that as well.
Right. Good information.
Yeah,
Thank you, my friend. Nice seeing you.
Thank you, Lou.